Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episodes 5 and 6. This is the last time I'm going to be combining episodes because now there's only one Housewives franchise on Wednesday nights. Beverly Hills is finally over. Those ladies need a break. I don't want to see them till next year. So yeah, I'll be doing one episode in a review from now on, unless I'm traveling. But let's get into the episode. So we open this episode in a more interesting city, my home, New York. And of course, they just show Times Square. I'm not even sure if Jen Shaw was in Times Square. But yeah, she's in New York because of her court case. That's where she's being charged. And that's pretty much it. So next scene we're with Lisa. She's talking to her husband. She's talking to him about the chaotic trip they had in Phoenix, about the rumor that's going on between them. And if she didn't hate Angie H last season, she definitely hates her now. That's the Sarah Paulson lookalike. She's also telling her husband how much she trusts Whitney now because she was the one that came to her about the rumors that were being spread. It's crazy how much has changed between seasons. Like, we've had whole alliance shifts. And speaking of Whitney, we're with her now. She's talking to her husband, and again she's talking about this vague healing journey she's on. She's not giving any specifics, and yeah, I'm not going to go over it until she says a name and something specific that happened to her. We also see that she's still beefing with Heather. Something tells me that this is going to go on till the end of the season. And speaking of Heather, we're with Heather now as she's visiting Angie H's house. Now, I liked Angie H last season. I'm not sure why she just disappeared by the end of it. So this season, she comes back as a friend of. I wonder why. Because I heard from the last episode that she's quite the liar. So they're chilling in Angie's living room, they're having drinks, and Heather confronts her about what Whitney said that she said. Angie said she did not say anything that Whitney said, that Lisa was blowing somebody for courtside jazz tickets. Angie's like, I didn't say that. Child, now, I know Whitney is a pot stirrer, but why would she lie about that? What would be her motivation? You know, because then that means she's lying on Lisa and Angie. And it's starting to look like we have another Mia on our hands here. Also, I thought Angie was cooler with Whitney than Heather, but whatever. So then we find out that Heather is going to be hosting the next group gathering, and she's organizing a little ski day for the women. Everyone is invited. Next scene, we're with Meredith and her husband, and they're meeting their son Brooks for lunch. He's off from college temporarily, and he's just having some quality time with his parents. I cannot stand Brooks. He is everything that I hate about white gays. He's uber privileged. His voice is annoying. I'm so glad that they're not trying to make fetch happen with him. And so far, he's hardly in the season. He makes some joke about him having a boyfriend for 2 years and not telling his parents. That was a lie. I love how production tried to fake us out on that. But it is nice that his parents are finally acknowledging his homosexuality, because at first Meredith didn't. Oh child, they are boring. Fast forward. Next scene, we're with Jen and her husband. This confessional look, it's something. It's a choice. She looks like somebody, but I can't think who it is. I saw on Twitter that y'all said that she looked like the Hamburglar, and I can see the resemblance. I can see it. Her and Coach Shaw are doing some type of therapy exercise because I'm guessing they're trying to save their marriage, or at least look like they're trying to save their marriage. I'm sorry. I think when she goes to the clink clink, he leaving her. We find out from Jen in this scene that she has a new court date, like it was in March, but now it got moved to July. And, you know, as we know, she put in her guilty verdict then. I'm hoping they're able to catch this in the season because still, she's talking about how innocent she is. And whenever she's talking about that, I don't want to hear it. So next scene, we're back with Lisa, and I gotta say, the outside of her house is okay, but the interior, she needs a decorator because it is hideous. She's talking to one of her siblings on the phone about divorce while trying to feign emotion. Some point we're gonna see tears come out of those eyes of hers because so far she's been doing some dry ass crying. It's just like, well, you know, I just can't understand. Like, I'm the only one that's not divorced. I feel so sad. Just dry. Anyway, next we're with Whitney. In this scene, she's officially gonna be leaving the Mormon church. Now, I didn't know leaving the Mormon church was such a process. Like, I just thought, okay, she's just gonna stop going to church. But no, it's like a whole notary process. She has to sign documents. Also, I want to add, as someone who doesn't know about the Mormon church, as I've been watching this franchise, it really just seems like a cult, like very similar to Scientology, just more racism. Next scene is the day of Heather's ski day. Harper, who are these white women? So a lot of Heather's family are there. A lot of them are her cousins. There's a lot of cousins in Utah. So then we see Heather's friend Dana, who I'm guessing is the new friend of and Jenny's Asian replacement. They know each other because Dana is a frequent customer at Heather's beauty lab. We're with new besties Whitney and Lisa, and Whitney is saying she hasn't talked to Heather since Arizona, but she's open to talking to her when she sees her. So the ladies are all arriving, and it looks like there's two Angies this season. It's gonna be Angie H and Angie K. When Lisa walks up, she's like, what is Angie H doing here? It looks like Heather didn't tell her. Now, do y'all think Heather is messy for not telling Lisa? I mean, Heather and Lisa aren't really friends, you know? I've actually been in this situation before for my birthday this past year where I invited all of my friends, but I gave both friends a heads up. I'm like, I'm inviting everybody, so you can make that decision if you don't want to go or not. They both came and, you know, everyone was cordial. It went great. But if I'm not friends with somebody, you know, not really, I'm trying to think what I still tell them. Yeah, because I don't think I want drama at my event. So, yeah, I think I would have told Lisa if I was Heather. But I think Heather knew what she's doing. So far, it looks like there's a little over 10 people at this event. We see Angie H go up to Lisa and hug her, and it's awkward as fuck. I'm not even sure why Angie played herself by trying to hug Lisa. So now everyone goes off to ski. We're first with the people that actually know how to ski. And look at Whitney, like, doing tricks and shit. Okay. We're then with the ladies on the beginner's hill, and they're just busy gossiping. And they're talking about the elephant in the room, which is Angie H being invited by Heather. Lisa is pissed by it. She doesn't give a fuck that she's been friends with Angie for 20 years. She's done with her. And now she's questioning Heather because she's the one that invited her without a heads up. After skiing is over, all the ladies are together now in this little lodging space where they serving drinks and food. We're with Jen, and she's telling all the ladies about her new court date. When she said it was moved to July, so she has to go to New York then, Lisa's like, Hamptons, we can go to the Hamptons. And Jen is like, yeah, girl, ooh. I'm like, you know she's going to court to find out if she's going to jail, right? I'm with Whitney. Like, we cut to her confession. She's like, why are they excited about this? Jen doesn't know, like, what the prosecution has in store for her, like key witnesses. Jen is delusional. It's so fascinating to me. So now we're with Meredith, Whitney, and Angie H. And Angie takes this time to tell Whitney her conversation she had with Heather about, you know, the whole rumor thing. And at first, early in the episode, she told Heather that she didn't say that at all. But now she's talking to Whitney. She's like, oh, but I don't remember. Okay, girl, like, I'm done with you already. You are a liar. I don't like liars on here because those are the thirsty type on here that don't last long. I see why they made you a friend of. So disappointed in Sarah Paulson. We cut to Whitney's confessional, and she says she expects Angie H to be a liar. Why are you friends with her then? She says that she's mad at Heather because they're closer and the stakes are higher with her. We're now on the other side of the room with Heather talking to Jen, and Jen tells her that Lisa is pissed at her for inviting Angie H to this event. So after she hears that, she goes over to Lisa to talk and apologize for inviting Angie H. And says when she made the guest list, she honestly wasn't thinking of her, which kind of sounds worse. But it looks like Lisa accepts her apology anyway, so they're able to move forward. Child, so now a little later, Angie H tries to talk to Lisa, and Lisa ain't having it. She's like, I'm not interested. No, she completely dismisses her while Angie's just standing there looking thirsty and desperate. Well, it looks like that 20-year friendship won't be saved. So now we're with Whitney, and she takes Heather to the side to talk, and she said when they were arguing in Phoenix that she was more so focused on the details, and she said she didn't feel that Heather had her back. She said, if you don't remember, that's fine, but I do. Well, why are y'all beefing then? She then tells her that they can agree to disagree, and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to move forward. But no, there's another issue that Whitney has with Heather. The new issue is she feels like Heather weaponized her pain when they were arguing and made it seem like she was sharing her journey with the other ladies and really just making it about her. That seems to be the center of her contention. So Heather immediately apologizes and says, I'm sorry if you interpreted it that way. We cut to Whitney's confessional and she thinks that Heather's apology wasn't sincere at all. She then tells Heather that it hurt her deeply and it's going to take her a minute to get over it, so that's why her walls are up right now. After she says this, all we see on Heather's face is a look of bewilderment, and that is where the episode ends. Decent episode. I'm glad that, we can skip right to episode 6, because I need a little bit more from that episode. And would you look at that? It is nighttime already, y'all. Like, it's only 6:30 here. Jeez. I'm guessing it's because daylight savings time is tomorrow, but I might have to start doing my reviews early in the morning and not start at like 4:30, because in an hour and a half, it's nighttime. Anyway, we're on episode 6, and producers are doing some stunts and shows right now with this black and white montage of the events that's going to happen in this episode. I'm not sure whose bright idea it was, but this was weird as it was lame. After that, the episode opens with Heather looking like a chic cookie monster. She's on her way to this venue where she's going to be starting a choir. Okay, Sister Mary Clarence. I mean, do what you gotta do for a plot line, I guess, because I'm tired of hearing about her not being a Mormon anymore. Next scene, we're with Jen and her husband on a date night. They are really putting it on for the cameras this season. They're doing some type of trampoline obstacle course activity. So when they take a break, Jen is telling her husband about this mysterious Instagram profile named Shot Exposed that's been trolling her, but mostly Lisa. She says that 7 months have passed by and it was revealed to her by Lisa that the troll account was from Angie H's husband. This is weird because I'm wondering why now? And if this was like 7 months ago, like from the last season, like why is it such a big deal now? They're only showing one post that the account wrote, but for Jen to remember this after 7 months, I'm guessing this particular account was trolling her really hard. Anyway, it looks like she's ready to approach Angie whenever she sees her again. Next scene, we're with Lisa. She's talking to her son about his future, and it looks like he still has no intention on going to college. He's solely relying on his white privilege as well as the company that his mom gave him, Fresh Wolf. Oh, not this shade that he threw at his own mom. She was telling him that she grew up with a mom that didn't cook, and he quickly says, well, I grew up with a mom who didn't cook. I think my mom would have popped me if I said that. Actually, I remember being popped by my mom when I was in high school because, your adolescence, your parents be getting on your nerves. I remember I said something real slick to my mom. She slapped me right across the face. I will never forget that. Next scene, we're with Whitney, and we found that her husband has been fired from his job solely from being on Housewives of Salt Lake City. Now, they're alluding to that it was because of this scene last season of him and Whitney like wrestling in paint and smacking her ass. They were both like half naked. I'm like, well, shit happens, I guess. We cut to Whitney's confessional and she's kind of low-key freaking out, saying that he made more money than her and they already invested all this money last season in her business. They got kids and she's like, am I gonna have to sell my bags? I mean, that's what happens when you go on a reality show. I mean, there are consequences, but I mean, he's white, he'll be fine. We then see her husband reading her his resignation letter and he's choked up, looked like he's crying. Now, Lisa Barlow, those are real tears, ma'am. Next scene, we're with Heather at her business, and it looks like she wasn't able to open that second location after all. There's just been a lot of delays, so she's stressed about that. She also says she's stressed about her book deal because she's missed every deadline that she was given. We then see her talking to one of her employees about her beef with Lisa right now. It turns out that Lisa posted her dad's obituary on social media just to prove a point that she was right at the season 2 reunion. Lisa ain't shit. Unfortunately for Heather though, this situation has hurt her relationship with her family, so she's rightfully pissed. Next scene we're with Whitney and Lisa doing a yoga activity together. Afterwards they're talking, Whitney's letting Lisa know what happened to her husband, how he got fired. It looks like Lisa knew already, but she's pretending that she doesn't. So then Lisa's telling Whitney about her beef with Heather and she's giving her perspective on the social media drama. So in the last season 2 reunion, according to Heather, she said that Lisa texted her the day after her dad died saying, "I hope your dad feels better," as to seem like she didn't know what was going on with Heather and her dad already died. But Lisa wanted to make sure she was right, so for proof to everybody on social media, she posted her dad's obituary and the date of her text. It turns out that Lisa was actually right and she messaged her before her dad died. Now even though Lisa was right, it was still tacky. And even Whitney is telling her gently that she was kind of in the wrong for that. Like, it was below the belt. So Lisa's idea is, instead of calling Heather to make things right, she's just gonna pop up at her choir audition that she was invited to talk things out. Yeah, if I was Heather, it would be on site for Lisa. So next scene we're with Meredith and her husband going on a double date with Angie H and her husband. Now, I'm sure Meredith is doing this because she knows how much Lisa hates Angie H. But anywho, Lisa is the topic being discussed at the table, and Angie is saying that Lisa wants nothing to do with her. And I don't blame her because I don't want nothing to do with liars either. She's still trying to convince people she had nothing to do with those rumors, like just saying some type of word salad. Girl, just own it. I would respect her so much more if she just said, "You know what? I don't like the bitch. That's why I was spreading these rumors about her." Child, so now her husband admits on national TV that he indeed was behind the fake account that was trolling Lisa. Birds of a feather, I guess. Like, they really hate Lisa Barlow. Like, if she lying about rumors and now he's trolling her on social media, they had a vendetta. Like, you would think Lisa ruined their lives. I'm sorry, but Meredith not giving a shit that this grown-ass man created a fake account to harass her cast member. It just tells me that she really has it out for Lisa. Next scene we're with besties Heather and Jen is telling Heather about how Angie's husband created that fake account that was trolling Lisa as well as herself. Heather is shocked because right now she's the closest one to Angie H. Jen says she found out this information because Angie's husband called her himself, admitting that he was behind the profile and he was apologizing. That's so weird. I'm thinking Jen is just mad at him because of the screen name he chose, like Shot Exposed, because he really wasn't trolling Jen. He was more so trolling Lisa. So now that they know this information, they're asking each other what are they going to do about it. Particularly Heather, since she's the closest with her. Heather does admit that it's indefensible what he did, but let's pause right quick. You know, Heather is friends with someone else who is guilty of something that's indefensible. And she's still friends with her. I'm sure she's going to visit Jen while she's in jail. I just think Heather needs more discernment when choosing people as her friends. It seems as though she's stuck in the middle, but it wasn't Angie that created the profile, it was her husband. I mean, can she really blame Angie? Well, knowing Angie, she probably knew about it. Anywho, next scene is the day of Heather's choir audition, and she really has it set up like an American Idol audition. There are 7 people in line. I want to know, are people actually getting paid to be in the choir, or y'all all just doing this for fun? Now in this sorry-ass line of about 7 people, we see 2 of the friends of just standing there like groupies. Meredith and Jen arrive and they walk into the venue because they're helping Heather with the event. Then we see Whitney and Angie H arrive like they about to perform in Vegas together. I really don't get their friendship because they both accuse each other of being a liar, and Angie is the reason why Whitney is beefing with Heather. So Jen comes back outside in her hot lavender suit and a megaphone to try to hype up the crowd of 7 in line. She sees Angie H and is immediately pissed. She goes back inside and looks like she's about to lose her shit at any moment. And that is where the episode ends. These 2 episodes were okay, but y'all, next week, it looks explosive. Like, just fights left and right. Like, this was the Salt Lake City that I signed up for. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about the season so far. Like I said in previous reviews, this franchise is a slow burn. Like, it's gonna get good eventually. But yeah, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.